The US peace plan for the Middle East suggests unilateral concessions in favor of Israel and violates international law, Russia's foreign minister said, while underscoring the importance of the so-called Quartet of International Peacemakers, America, the UN, the European Union and Russia, to solve the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said such an approach does not help efforts for a just solution to the issue. In addition, he said Washington inherently ignored the generally recognized international legal framework for the Middle East settlement, which includes the UN Security Council and UN General Assembly resolutions and the Arab Peace Initiative. The Russian official said a just two-state solution requires genuine efforts from both sides of the conflict, while the international community has to provide impartial support for any Palestinian-Israeli dialogue. He suggested that the Middle East Peace Quartet could act as a mediator. Turkish prosecutors investigating the Military Services and Justice Ministry on Tuesday requested the arrest of 220 people above suspected links to the community that Ankara states was driving a 2016 coup trial. There has been a sustained crackdown on alleged flowers of US-dependent cleric Fethullah Gulen since the failed push in July of 2016, in which some 250 men and women had been killed. Police even now routinely have out raids focusing on suspects. In the latest moves, prosecutors purchased the arrest of 157 people, like 101 serving officers, in an investigation of the Turkish armed forces. News reports said the procedure was centered in the western province of Izmir and stretched across 43 provinces. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky will convene a Ukrainian Security Council meeting on Tuesday after one soldier was killed and 4 wounded in what Kyiv said was heavy shelling by Russian forces in the eastern Donbas region. President Zelensky called the attack a cynical provocation and an attempt to disrupt the peace process. A simmering conflict between Ukrainian troops and Russian-backed forces in eastern Ukraine has killed more than 13,000 people since 2014, despite a ceasefire agreement struck in 2015. Ukraine, Western countries and NATO accuse Russia of sending troops and heavy weapons to prop up separatist fighters in the Donetsk and Luhansk regions, a charge that Moscow has denied. Senior German conservative lawmaker Norbert Röttgen has put himself forward as a surprise candidate to take over as leader of Chancellor Angela Merkel's Christian Democrats, or CDU, further complicating the party's chaotic succession planning. Last week, Annegret Kramp-Karrenbauer, Chancellor Merkel's protege, threw the party into turmoil by saying she would not stand as Chancellor in the next federal election due by October 2021 and announcing that she would give up the CDU party chair. Röttgen's unexpected move makes him the fourth contender for the post of party leader. China reported 1,886 new virus cases and 98 more deaths in its update Tuesday on a disease outbreak that has caused mild illness in most people, an assessment that promoted guarded optimism from global health authorities. The update raised the number of deaths in mainland China to 1,868 and the total confirmed cases to 72,436. On Monday, the Chinese Center for Disease Control and Prevention published a study of earlier cases of the disease, finding that more than 80% of people infected had mild illness, and the number of new infections seems to be falling since early this month. The head of the leading hospital in China's central city of Wuhan, the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak, died of the disease on Tuesday, while South Korea announced an economic emergency and Singapore Airlines slashed flights. Chinese state television said Liu Ziming, the director of Wuhan Wuchang Hospital, died the 7th health worker to fall victim. The hospital was designated to solely treat virus-infected patients. Singapore Airlines Limited said it would temporarily cut flights across its global network in the 3 months to May as the epidemic hits demand for services to the Asian city-state, as well as through the key transit hub. The UK must have the ability to set laws that suit us, the Prime Minister's chief Brexit negotiator has said in a speech in Brussels. David Frost has set out the UK's stance ahead of post-Brexit trade negotiations due to start next month. He dismissed the idea an EU court would have a rule in future trade disputes, saying Britain only wants what other independent countries have. It comes as France warns Britain to expect a bruising battle during talks. The Trump administration is considering changing US regulations to allow it to block shipments of chips to Huawei Technologies from companies such as Taiwan's TSMC, the world's largest contract chip maker. New restrictions on commerce with China's Huawei are among several options to be considered at high-level US meetings this week and next. According to officials, the chip proposal has been drafted, but its approval is far from certain. The measure would be a blow to the world's number 2 smartphone maker, as well as to the TSMC, a major producer of chips for Huawei HiSilicon Unit and mobile phone rivals Apple Incorporated and Qualcomm Incorporated. HSBC on Tuesday announced further cost-cutting and restructuring pains after profits slid by a third last year, and as its interim chief warned, the global banking giant was still not delivering acceptable returns. The Asia-focused lender has been trying to lower costs as it faces a multitude of uncertainties caused by the grinding US-China trade war, Britain's departure from the European Union, and now the deadly new coronavirus in China. While its Asia business has done well in recent years, fueled primarily by China, its businesses in Europe and the US have disappointed. Formula One champion Lewis Hamilton and football superstar Lionel Messi shared the Laureus Sportsman of the Year award at Monday's ceremony in Berlin. Hamilton, a 6-time world champion, and Barcelona star Messi share the award for their achievements in 2019. This is the first time a footballer has won the award and also the first occasion in the event's 20-year history when the jury reached a tied decision. Indian legend Sachin Tendulkar, the highest run scorer of all time in international cricket, had the support of a cricket-crazy nation to win a fan vote for the best sporting moment for the last 2 decades at the Laureus Awards in Berlin on Monday. In his 6th and final One-Day International World Cup in 2011, Tendulkar finally got his hands on the title as India won on home soil. It was the veteran Tendulkar's 6th shot at a One-Day International World Cup at home, and he'd made it clear it would be his last. Snow-capped peaks used to be clearly visible from the streets of Almaty and Bishkek, 2 of the largest cities in Central Asia that both lie in plains surrounded by mountains. But now a heavy cloud of dark smog often blots out the view as air pollution regularly soars the level comparable to those in New Delhi and Lahore, even though Almaty and Bishkek have fewer people and industries than their Indian and Pakistani counterparts. In the Kyrgyz capital of Bishkek, a city of 1 million, and Kazakhstan's second city of Almaty, which is twice as large, the onset of winter prompts a surge in pollution as people burn coal and other dirty fuels in stoves to heat their homes. 2 pilots have been hailed for making an almost vertical landing of an Airbus 380 at London's Heathrow Airport, defying gusts from Storm Dennis that had forced several British airports to cancel flights. In a video of the incident last Saturday, that has gone viral. The Etihad plane, controlled by two people, can be seen hovering above the tarmac as it attempts a crab landing, a maneuver that sees pilots fly the plane into the wind, perpendicular to the runway. Winds of up to 80 km per hour were recorded at the international airport that day. United Arab Emirates-based Etihad Airways confirmed the aircraft had flown from Abu Dhabi to London.